All right. So a couple of days ago, I did a live stream playing some Call of Duty Black Ops 7, and I had Young Shogun in the chat, and we were discussing about how gaming has changed with the add of microtransactions and subscriptions. So, I also want to have a conversation with you guys about that because it has really changed and shaped the way that we game now. It's just one of those things to where it made gaming become a chore now. It really took the fun out of your games, especially like games that you grind and games that you really just enjoy playing. So it just, to me, honestly, it ruined gaming. Subscriptions, transactions, and stuff like that. It has, to me, honestly, as a gamer, as myself, it has ruined gaming. It really just took gaming into a way of, it's a chore. You spend this amount of money on like a season pass or whatnot, or a whole battle pass like Call of Duty has. So you spend this amount of money, and you have to really grind this stuff out to get your money's worth, which is fine in a way. Some stuff is worth getting. Some cosmetic skins and weapons and stuff like that. I remember back in the day, this is like back in the late 80s and the 90s, where we didn't have all this stuff. We grind for everything that we wanted to get, and we didn't have to really worry about money. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that some of this stuff is bad. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's going into a position, it's going into a direction to where it's becoming pay to win, and to me, it just takes the fun out of it. Especially when it comes to games that you really want to grind out. Like I got an example right here. All right. So what I have here is Resident Evil 4 Remake. So if you look here on the right hand side of the corner, you see that there's this Resident Evil 4 weapon exclusive upgrade. Now, you could literally upgrade your gun and don't really have to grind, which to me, that is fine, and that's cool. But I remember back when this came out back in 2004, you didn't have this. We didn't have all this, these microtransactions on doing some stuff in the game. We literally had to grind. Excuse me. We literally had to grind to, get our weapons fully upgraded, because in one gameplay, you was gonna only have at least probably like 2 or 3 guns that you really had to upgrade, and then after you go through the playback, then you can just go back and just upgrade the other guns that you really didn't upgrade and maxed out. So, that's why I say it's okay to do these things, but then, at the same time, it seems like the gaming industry itself is going straight into the direction of a whole play to win, and you have to pay this, to get this, instead of just really kind of grind it out. Like, it's putting the whole, you pay this and then you have to grind, and that's why I say it's becoming a chore. So that's just one of the examples of the whole, if you want, instead of just grind it out, you want to, buy the stuff, buy the weapon upgrades, and once again, it's cool, that's, and it's not a high price, $2 or something like that. But what I'm saying is, in the direction that they're going, they're going to start getting greedy. These companies, they like to be greed. They want money. So, and it's crazy in the direction that they're going with this. It takes a lot of fun out of playing video games. Like, here's another example, just to let you know what I'm talking about. All right, so here is Call of Duty Black Ops 7. So this is the battle pass, to where you buy every a month and a half or so. You have 54 days to really clear out this whole map. Now, if you do buy the battle pass, at least you do get 20 tokens to kind of give you a good head start, and plus you got 54 days to really clear out the whole map. And like I said, that's fine. But you know, if you have a busy life and a busy schedule, you know, and you know you don't have the time to really just grind these games out and really just try to get all these rewards, because like some of this stuff, some of the skins or weapons, yeah, they cool to get, you know, but then you gotta think about the amount of money that you're spending on, like, you know, these skins, you know, all, you know, to get certain weapons and all that. And then, you know, be mindful, you know, look at the prices of the tokens. Like, do y'all really think that's really, you know, a reasonable amount for tokens? Because you gotta think about it. Think about this, like you spend $100 on 13,000. You know, 13,000 is not that much to really, you know, 13,000. You could probably, if you're lucky, you'll be close to getting half of the skins. You know, just spending $100, and then, you know, plus of course you got taxes that comes into play too. So, you know, just be mindful if you're going to invest and spend money on certain stuff like this. Just be mindful of, you know, what you're getting, because I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. You know, to me, for $100, 13,000 is nowhere close to me. To me, that's enough tokens to get. I would say about at least 20 to 25,000 tokens for $100. You know, that's just me. You know, I don't know. Everybody else, y'all might feel different about it. So the final thing that I want to discuss with you guys is the whole pre-order system. You know, especially with the whole digital and the physical. I used to collect physical stuff, and I really still would like to, but you know, since I got the PS5 Pro, it's only, you know, the whole, you know, you have to just get stuff digital. So that's what I've been doing. Now, eventually, I do want to get the whole thing with the disc, but it's kind of crazy how you have to pay $80 for a damn disk drive. So that's crazy to me. Like, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of the gaming industry going to this direction of, you know, you have to pay certain stuff, and you know, just to get. And to me, it should already have the whole, you know, the whole disk drive thing. But you know, that's beside the point. But with the whole pre-ordering thing, you know, when you take certain games and you add in all these little extra stuff that on the side, just make sure that it's worth it for you, you know. And I'm gonna give you my final example of this. All right, so here we have WWE 2K26. You got your standard edition, you have your King of Kings edition, you have your Attitude Era edition, and you got the Monday Night War edition. So the standard edition, of course, you're gonna have your, you know, the base game and the Joe Hendry package. Kings of Kings, you're gonna have, based on the standard edition, 7-day early access, ringside pass premium, and the King edition pack. So I guess it's gonna be, you know, the whole Triple H, you know, skins, or I mean Triple H from his earlier days. Also, you got the Attitude Era. Now, what's crazy to me with this whole Attitude Era is that they are trying to draw in OGs like myself that used to play WWE, you know, and they're also trying to get us to, you know, get this for nostalgia reasons, because I grew up watching the Attitude Era, watching WWE. So here you have your, of course, you're gonna have whatever the Kings of Kings edition have, plus you got the Superstar Mega Boost, that's for your My Rise character. The ringside pass premium season, you know, 1 through 4. And then, of course, you're going to have your Attitude Era. So whatever wrestler they're going to add on in here. So now, the Monday Night War edition. Like I said, I grew up watching both WCW and WWE. I like when that year that they was having that Monday Night War, I was literally going back and forth, you know, switching channels to see what was going on. So, you know, that Monday Night War edition, if anybody don't know, that WCW was winning the ratings within that year. So it was hot, and it was fun. So With this, of course, you're gonna have all your whatever all the three had. Then they're gonna add this on here, and then you're gonna have your ringside premium season 1 through 6. So, and then you're also gonna have your WrestleMania 42 pack. And it just, to me personally, I'm gonna wait for this to go on sale. It's if anybody, but now, what would I would recommend? And it all depends, if how much you really play WWE. Like, to me, I will go for the Attitude Era. I will go for that. Now, anybody that just wants to have all the other stuff on that, then that's on you. But if you really want to get just to get a good start on it, especially with the whole My Rise, I'll go with the Attitude Era edition. So, I mean, that's just me. Me, personally, I haven't played WWE 2K since 2K24. I'm going to wait for it to go on sale. So, and that's just me. So, overall, to me, the whole gaming industry taking this direction of the whole microtransactions and the whole subscription thing, it has its goods and it has its bads. Me, personally, it really ruins the whole thing of gaming, and I've been gaming for a long time. Like, I've been playing video games since the late 80s, so I'm an 80s baby. So, and some of the games that they are putting out it's fun, but let's leave some of the games that we know that we can just grind out. Let us grind out some of the skins and all that stuff out instead of trying to buy money. But like I said before, everybody's lifestyle is different, and I can completely understand, like, you come home from work and you be like, man, I really want this skin, I can just pay for it. It's cool, and it's cool, but at the same time, these companies, they'll start adapting some of these tactics and ideas, and they'll go too far to where they become money hungry, they become greedy. So that's where my concern comes in. Like, this is not a video of me complaining about stuff like that. Like I said, I understand from a business perspective, but at the same time, when these companies start getting greedy, they start overcharging you for some stuff that to you that's not worth it. So to all my players out there and all the people that do play video games, just be mindful of what games that you buy. Just look and make sure, even if it's a game that you've been playing for years, just still be mindful, because they will try to add some stuff to to kind of throw you off. And so it just, to me, the direction that they're going, it's helpful, but then it ruins gaming at the same time. It takes the fun out of it. It takes the grind out. It takes the grind. Instead of just grinding and having fun, it's like you grinding, you grinding to get your money worth out the game, So, and that's just my take on the whole, the microtransactions and the subscriptions in the gaming industry. Like I said, it's fun, but then at the same time, you grind you're not grinding for the right reasons. You grinding because, oh, I spent this amount of money, so I gotta hop on and play the game. So hop on here and play it. So at the end of the day, just be mindful of what games you buy. But anyway, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you are new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And stay tuned for more of my videos. This is Sham the God Speaks. I'll catch you guys on the next video.